Not every giant company is swimming in money. While some corporations are hitting record trillion-dollar valuations, others, including some of the most famous brand names on earth, are bleeding billions, filing for bankruptcy, or fighting just to survive. This is the top 10 poorest and most financially struggling companies in the world in 2026. And by the end of this list, you'll see just how quickly even the biggest names can fall. Number 10. Party City. The party supplies giant has struggled with crushing debt for years, and even after emerging from one bankruptcy, it's continued to close stores and battle collapsing sales as online retailers undercut its prices. Founded in 1986, the chain expanded aggressively for decades, buying up smaller competitors and becoming the go-to destination for balloons, costumes, and decorations across America. But that same aggressive expansion loaded the company with debt it could never quite pay down. Once a staple in shopping malls across America, the company now stands as a warning of how quickly retail chains can unravel once debt piles up faster than revenue. Number 9. Rite Aid. The American pharmacy chain has now filed for bankruptcy protection twice in just a few years. Weighed down by billions in debt, thousands of opioid-related lawsuits, and fierce competition from bigger rivals like CVS and Walgreens. Founded back in 1962 as a single discount drugstore in Pennsylvania, Rite Aid once operated thousands of locations nationwide. Store closures have become routine, and many analysts now question whether Rite Aid can survive as an independent company much longer, with some predicting it may eventually disappear from American streets entirely. Number 8. Forever 21. The fast fashion retailer that once had stores in nearly every major mall in America filed for bankruptcy again in 2025, and this time it began liquidating its remaining U.S. locations entirely. Founded in 1984 by South Korean immigrants who built the brand into a global fast fashion powerhouse, Forever 21 became a symbol of an entire generation's mall shopping culture in the 2000s and 2010s. Squeezed by ultra-cheap online competitors like Shein and Temu, along with changing shopping habits, Forever 21 became one of the clearest casualties of the shift away from traditional mall retail. Number 7. WeWork. Once valued at nearly $50 billion as one of the most hyped startups on earth, WeWork's shared office space empire collapsed under the weight of unsustainable leases and plunging demand for office space. Founded in 2010 with a vision of reinventing the office, the company expanded into hundreds of cities worldwide before its failed IPO attempt in 2019 exposed just how shaky its finances really were. The company filed for bankruptcy in 2023, and even after restructuring, it remains a shadow of the empire it once claimed to be. Now widely used as a case study in Silicon Valley, overreach and startup hype outrunning reality. Number 6. Spirit Airlines. Known for its ultra-low fares, Spirit has struggled to stay financially afloat, filing for bankruptcy protection amid mounting debt, rising fuel costs, and a failed merger attempt with JetBlue that regulators blocked over antitrust concerns. Spirit pioneered the ultra-low-cost airline model in the U.S., stripping down amenities to offer rock-bottom ticket prices, but that same thin-margin business model left almost no cushion when costs rose. Despite restructuring its finances, the airline has continued cutting routes and jobs as it fights to remain a viable option in America's brutally competitive skies. Number 5. iRobot. The company behind the Roomba, once the undisputed king of robot vacuums, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in late 2025. Founded in 1990 by MIT roboticists, iRobot pioneered the entire home robotic vacuum category and dominated it for nearly 2 decades. Years of declining demand, a failed acquisition deal with Amazon worth $1.7 billion that regulators blocked over competition concerns, and intense competition from cheaper Chinese robot vacuum makers left the company drowning in losses it simply couldn't climb out of. Number 4. Walgreens. Net loss, $8.6 billion. Once one of the most recognizable pharmacy chains in America, tracing its roots back to a single Chicago drugstore founded in 1901, Walgreens posted a staggering net loss that nearly tripled the year before, driven by shrinking prescription reimbursements, rising theft, and a brutal price war with rivals. The pressure became so severe that the company was taken private in a $10 billion buyout by Sycamore Partners, ending its century-long run as a publicly traded business and marking one of the most stunning falls for an American retail icon. Number 3, Nissan, net loss, $3.4 billion. The Japanese automaker, founded in 1933 and once one of the most respected names in the auto industry, posted its second straight year of massive losses in 2026, battered by U.S. tariffs, sluggish sales, and fierce competition from Chinese electric vehicle makers flooding global markets with cheaper alternatives. Nissan has responded by consolidating its assembly plants, cutting thousands of jobs worldwide, and even selling off its own corporate headquarters in Yokohama just to raise cash, in one of the most dramatic corporate turnaround stories in the entire auto industry. Number 2, Boeing, the aerospace giant whose planes have carried billions of passengers since the company was founded back in 1916, has spent years battling safety scrutiny, production slowdowns, and a damaged reputation following its 737 MAX crisis, which included 2 fatal crashes and a temporary worldwide grounding of the aircraft. Even with a record order backlog worth roughly $695 billion, Boeing has continued posting losses and burning through cash, proving that even a company central to global aviation isn't immune to years of costly setbacks and lost public trust. And number 1, Intel, net loss, $3.7 billion in a single quarter alone. Once the undisputed king of computer chips, founded in 1968 by semiconductor pioneers Gordon Moore and Robert Noyce, Intel is now the only loss-making company among the world's 200 most valuable publicly traded firms, despite its stock price rallying sharply in 2026 on AI-related hype and fresh outside investment. Crushing competition from NVIDIA and AMD, years of delayed next-generation chips, and billions of dollars in restructuring charges have left the company fighting to reclaim the dominance it once took for granted, proving that even the company that once defined the entire chip industry isn't safe from getting left behind. 10 companies, tens of billions of dollars in combined losses, bankruptcies, and buyouts. And the pattern here is just as telling as the one on the richest list. Nearly every company here got hit by the same forces: crushing debt taken on during years of aggressive expansion, disruptive new competitors undercutting them on price, and an inability to adapt fast enough to a rapidly changing market. Being a household name built over decades clearly isn't enough to guarantee survival in 2026. Which one shocked you the most? Was it Intel, a company that once ruled the entire chip industry? Or Boeing, a company too big to fail yet somehow still losing money year after year? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this list, subscribe for more videos just like this one every single week.